I can't do it. I'm too embarrassed. Because I'm gonna be talking about the most embarrassing moments of my life. Yay! Promise not to laugh. It maybe wasn't that bad when I think about it now. I mean, when I actually remember these things now, they're not really embarrassing. Either they're a little rude or they're just very funny, because, when you grow up and you kind of, look to these things from some distance, you're not like there in that moment, everything becomes just, funny and like totally less serious. Coconut, of course. So yeah, I remember like since I was very little, I was a very shy child, like in general. Everywhere when someone, I don't know, forced me to say hello to someone or say please and say thank you, I just wouldn't do it. My ego is just too high. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, I was so embarrassed just talking to anyone who wasn't my family or my really close friend. I don't know, it was just, that typical shy girl. And my family did never like force me that much into anything that it could, result in something that I really despise or hate. I did that all on my own, I don't know. And yeah, I remember that then later on they really like asked me, come on, you gotta say please, thank you gotta say hello and goodbye because people will just think you're not polite, and if you won't, make it a habit now, you will never be doing these things, which is not totally true because, when you're a kid you just don't want to do it because it doesn't seem important and it's not. I don't know. And later you still like do this, so even if as a kid you don't do these things, later on you're gonna do them, so it's really not a big deal, but okay. So yeah, and later on in elementary school, I was a less shy kid, but in school I was still very shy, but like with my friends, with my family, and like the rest of the world, I wasn't that shy anymore, especially like obviously towards the end of elementary school. And yeah, well, when I was little, one of my first memories, like from the seaside where we were just, doing vacations, there was this guy that I kind of liked or fancied or just found sympathetic. I don't know, because it was creepy, guys. He was so much older than me. I was like 3 or 4 and he was like 18. That's scary. Like right now, I don't want to think about it. It's just scary. It's creepy. It's strange. I know, but okay. I was a strange kid, I guess. So I remember when my mom, just had me in her arms, and I was like secretly like, looking at him. I mean, when a girl is very little, I mean, I can see it now, like with my, boyfriend or some of my guy friends. Little girls are, looking at them like they fancy them somehow, they're like big boss, and it's something just, cute about it, I guess. And it was the same with me. So he was this big guy, and I kind of like him, and all like the members of my family really, poke me and joking me like, ooh, who is this guy? Do you like him? Do you like him? Are you looking at him, right? And I was just looking away like to some flowers that were there, and I said, no, just looking at flowers. And to this day, they actually joke me about it. Why are you looking at flowers? I was 3 or 4 years old. I almost couldn't walk on my own, but I was pretending not to be looking at one guy. I was like flirting or whatever. Oh my god, creepy. I know. And so I was kind of, shy. But one of my most embarrassing moments in elementary school, I think it was one time, like later on in 7th grade, when all those embarrassing things happen to you. I'm sure when you're 13, your whole life is just embarrassment to everyone, I guess, especially yourself. And I was with this guy in front of the class, in history class. I really hated history, but mostly because we had a teacher that just couldn't handle it. I mean, she was just too strict, and she was like a horror maniac. It was like we've never known anyone else like that before, because we were still very small, you know. In high school later on it's different, you know, every professor is kind of harsh, but back then you were just a kid and you're just frightened. And yes, so we were with this guy that I probably hated the most of the entire school, I believe. I just thought he was such a moron and such a loser. And I remember him having this face covered in acne and being just a loser and more of a like quiet guy and like some creepy dude. I don't know, someone that would later on you'd expect him to be like violent, or I don't know, it was just strange. And we had to go in front of the class together because both of us had orals in history. What are the odds? Yeah. The day couldn't get any worse. None of us were prepared. None of us could answer. He would answer a little better than me, which was like embarrassment number one, because he was like a class loser and everybody knew that, and him being better than me made me like a class like biggest loser. I mean, at least in my head at that moment. And yeah, later on, like, I think he got an E and I got a big I believe. And it was my first, or was it that I got an E and he got a D? Never mind. I felt like the world was ending. I felt like I would never be able to speak to anyone ever again. I was afraid, you know, coming home, telling my family what happened, even if they even like took it like totally normal, like, okay, one time you have to go through this, it will happen sooner or later, so what's the problem? You can learn, you're a smart girl and stuff like that. But I was just terrified and never wanted to go to school after that ever again. And then I remember another time in elementary school. It was also towards the end, like in 6th, 7th or 8th grade, I don't remember right now. But there was this guy that I really liked, but not in the terms of like liking him, would you be my date? But we were real good friends because he was mostly the only one whom I could talk a lot about football. You know, one of my previous videos I was talking to about how I was really crazy about football, and he was the only one in class that also shared this like total passion for football, because I remember his uncle, I think, was a referee, so he was kind of pulled in to this scene, and he also enjoyed like debating with me, because obviously soon enough he realized that I'm not just another trick, I don't know, watching this football players, I mean soccer, but that I actually know certain things, like a thing or two more than him and stuff like that, yeah, which made me feel really good. And we were like spending the time together talking about football, like every day, every break. And one day when we were getting ready to leave the school, when we were getting dressed, and you know, he was in love with a real good friend of mine, and they were like talking, and she kind of joked with him, well, what about her? And pointing to me, wouldn't you rather, you know, go on a date with her, because you guys are talking, you know, about soccer all the time and you guys get along really good, you know. And I guess she was just, you know, trying to be a little mean. I guess she was just jealous a little because I knew that much about soccer and I could really talk to him about anything and talk to him a lot more than she ever could, you know, because we kind of had this topic and connection together, I don't know. And then what his response was, come on, she has a mustache. In my head I was like, oh my god. And what was with that? I had dark hair, and you know, like in puberty when you get some extra hair, I maybe have gotten them like here, just, you know, on the sides, I don't know. And I was, you know, I was really young, like 12 or 13, and you know, I got into puberty maybe like a little faster than others. Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to this kind of stuff. I wasn't that girly girl in those years, I was more like acting like a boy, and I really didn't care about, I don't know, waxing it off or bleach it or whatever. And I don't know, I never talked about it with my mom, and I guess she didn't find it like a problem, so we never like handled it. And yeah, me hearing that, oh my god, it wasn't just embarrassing, it was offensive and rude, and I was just, oh my god, I felt so bad. I just couldn't speak to him for a couple of days, I believe. I never mentioned it to him, that it hurt me, but I guess I should. It was embarrassing, yeah. And of course that other girl like laughed her head off, and I laughed as well, because of course I wanted to hide my terrible disappointment and just end of the world in my head, but it was so bad. Later on in high school, I remember another very embarrassing moment. It was a completely different kind, majorly embarrassing, because it was the very beginning of the high school. We were like kids still, 15 years old. The fact that it was the beginning, it made it even more embarrassing, because I just, in the beginning of the high school, you feel like everything depends on that few first weeks or first month that you're there. Your whole appearance and the whole approach of others towards you, and the way they kind of perceive you, basis on that first few weeks. Yeah, they weren't the best for me, because in the very beginning, I believe first week or second, there was a basketball game. Me and a couple of schoolmates, like classmates of mine, just went there to cheer, and we made some flyers, and we made some transparents like titles, and we like also made some cheerleading song, and we were totally into it. We were so happy, that something's going on, that we kind of started to rule the school, the new school, new friends, you kind of more courageous, less shy about everything. You can be like a new person in a way, because nobody knows you yet. Yeah, so we also wrote, we also took a Sharpie and wrote on the wall like the name of our class, and we wrote a song on that big flyer, like jumbo, something with like some inappropriate words inside and stuff like that. And then the next day, the principal walked into our classroom, like in the middle of our German class, which was held by our like main professor of our class. She said our last names of me and another two friends of mine. Could you get up? And we had to get up. Walk with me, please. We just wanted to go down in the like center of the earth, and at least I can speak for myself. I was so embarrassed. I felt like a complete loser, and I was just thinking all the time, oh my god, what will they think of me? What if everyone else is like very good kids, and how they'll think of me like I'm some sort of, like violent, I don't know, some trashy girl from some suburbs of the city that doesn't know how to act, properly. And I was terrified. Later on, nothing really bad happened, and also in the classroom everything was great. So yeah, it was like pointless like most of the times, but okay. Why did I record this video? It was, just to make you laugh a little, and to talk to you, and to make you get to know me, but also to, I don't know, to speak to you about what actually you can do in times like this, because times like this can be hard, and when you're like shocked or embarrassed, there's not really pretty much that you think about that moment, so you can't really react accordingly, I believe. And I just prepared some of my advice that maybe could help you in times like this. For example, well, partly, to some extent, to some point, I think it's cute. So don't pretend, show that you're embarrassed, show that you're a little shy, because there's nothing cuter than like a shy, girly girl, lovely and all, damsel in distress and stuff, and soon someone will find you that, cares about you and comforts you, and, to some point it's cute. then, well, sometimes you just can't avoid it, kind of, because you should have been prepared, but you're not. Like that time in my elementary school when I had my orals, I should have been prepared, and if I would be, I didn't have to, come up with like that embarrassment, because if I knew like most of the things about history, I would get a good grade and everything would be fine. So yeah, many times you can like prevent your embarrassment, like at least in the matter of school exams and stuff. Sometimes when you get like really offended, like that time with like mustache thing, you should say it. You should say that you're offended, or you could just not offend back, embarrass them back, I don't know, I could say, well, if I have a mustache and I'm a girl, and I'm kind of manlier than you and you're a boy, you should really be concerning about yourself, and that would kind of make him think maybe a little or maybe, just, to redirect the left points to another person so it won't be you, maybe. Then sometimes maybe it's just better to, hide embarrassment, smile, go on, make a joke with yourself, or, just remain real, because you're human and, it can happen to anyone. There are a lot of worse stuff than just, being embarrassed every once in a while. And so I hope my advice has helped. I hope my stories entertained you. And if you'd like to enjoy any more stories, please comment down below what you'd like to hear, what you'd like me to talk about. And if you think this content is shareable, please share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to keep track of my future videos about just everything. Have fun, guys. Bye bye. Yeah, and don't forget, it can happen to anybody. One time it will be you, next time it will be your friend, and you'll have to comfort her or him, and then third time it will be the person that like offended or embarrassed you. So it's not such a hard and harsh thing. And also, if you like, I don't know, and later on, I had many other moments of embarrassment, I'm sure, that I don't remember right now, but I don't know, from the first high heels I wore and fell in them, to the, I don't know, to the last when I fell in the water in my pretty like girly dress, and from the first time I was drunk, or I don't know, just different things. And if you see, some like group of people or guys laughing at you, don't forget, like, life is really healthy, and if you're not really offended or injured or anything like that, they don't mean anything bad, I'm sure. And I'm sure, if you saw something like that, you would laugh as well. So be human about it, be real, think about it. Okay, it's not really that bad.